This week's episode is going to be a little bit different. So many things converged that I feel compelled to make this week's episode about saving lives. I'm Rachael Keefe, and this is Monday's Muse. The gospel text this week is the story of Lazarus rising from the dead. In the story, Lazarus dies and his sisters are mad because they thought Jesus would have been able to have prevented his death had Jesus arrived at their home in time. As it is, Jesus gets there 3 days later. And to make the long story short, Jesus goes to the tomb, tells them to roll the stone away, and then calls Lazarus come out. And Lazarus does. Lazarus goes from death to life in a very remarkable way. So with this gospel story in my mind, I went to the United Church of Christ WISE conference, which is their mental health initiative, and I presented a workshop on suicide intervention, prevention, and postvention for congregations. I also submitted a manuscript on the same topic with some theology and lots of my own life story in it to a publisher under contract. And then in the midst of those happenings, I heard that Amy Bleuel died by suicide. For those of you who do not know who Amy Bleuel was, she was the founder of Project Semicolon. This is an international organization that is about mental health advocacy and suicide prevention. And the motto of Project Semicolon is, "Your story is not over." And it feels like Amy's story is over. But it's not, because of all the lives Project Semicolon touched, all the hope she put out there in the world. Her story is so not over. If anything, it needs to be told more and more, because there are people out there who are feeling hurt, betrayed, hopeless, because for some reason she couldn't hear her own message in a way that saved her own life. And that says we need to make that message louder, stronger, more. The story of Jesus and Lazarus is one that tells us that death, darkness, despair is not the end to anyone's story. Suicide should not be the end to anyone's story. I wish just saying that was enough to give somebody hope. I know it's not. I've been in that place. I have felt the pull of suicide, but I am incredibly grateful that I did not die by suicide. And my ministry has been about sharing the message of hope in so many different contexts, in so many different places over the last 25 years. I have been in the position to help people find hope. Sometimes not soon enough. And I guess that's why I feel compelled to say we need to be about saving lives. We as church, we need to be the body of Christ that says, come out of death into life. Nothing is more important. And again, I know the words are not enough. I wish I could give all those who struggle with thoughts and feelings of suicide enough hope for themselves that they see a different option. Jesus calls to all of us, come out. Come from death to life. Jesus does this because we are truly God's beloved. Nobody's life should end in suicide. If you are struggling with thoughts and feelings of suicide, please reach out. You can call the hotline number 1-800-273-8255 or reach out to a friend or someone you trust so that they can hold hope for you when you don't have it for yourself. But I would encourage you to, if you are watching on YouTube, to leave encouraging comments for others who are watching, who may need to know they are loved, their life has value, and their story continues. This episode is dedicated to the life and work of Amy Bleuel. We'll see you next week.